Welcome to today's video. If you're looking for modern, low maintenance living in the heart of Tucson's most flavorful and historic area, then you are in for a treat in this video. Today we're touring the Row on 18 West, which is one of Tucson's newest townhouse subdivisions, and it is comprised of 16 units. They are in the final phases of construction. Today we're going to talk about what makes this location so special. Armory Park, we're going to talk about the culinary background, what makes Tucson in this particular area so special from a historical perspective, a food perspective, a walkability perspective. We're going to cover it all. We're covering two of these awesome units and floor plans behind me, and we're going to cover everything that you need to know about getting acclimated to one of the most vibrant areas in Tucson. Stay tuned. Let's jump in. Hey, I'm Rich. My family's lived in Tucson for over 150 years. And if you're looking for a local's perspective to share with you everything that you need to know about lifestyle, real estate, and new builds in Tucson, Arizona, and the surrounding areas, then you've come to the right place. Make sure you tap that subscribe button to stay tuned in and tap the bell so you can be the very first to learn everything that you want to know. All right, so before we jump into the interior tour, let's just take a look at what has been built. We're in Barrio Santa Rosa, which is one of the most historic neighborhoods in downtown Tucson, right in the heart of the Barrio area, Armory Park. There is just so much history that is lining these streets, from the different types of architecture that you're gonna see, lush landscaping, and then you've got some new construction opportunities like the Row on 18 West right here. Incredible. They've incorporated some pretty cool features in these homes that I'm excited to talk with you about. 16 units total is what is being built behind me. They range in square footage from about 1,200 to 1,400 square feet. Tons of privacy, natural light. Man, there's so much to share. Stay tuned because you're gonna be super excited to see what the finishes look like, the floor plans, what they've done to kind of incorporate all of that. And a couple things that I want to share just about Barrio, the Barrio neighborhood specifically that we are located in. Barrio Viejo contains one of the largest collections of 19th century adobe buildings in the United States. That is a ton of history surrounding these streets all over the place, which is really, really cool if you're into architecture like I am. Tucson has actually been named the gastronomy capital of the US, which essentially, I'm speaking to all of you foodies. Anyone who enjoys food, that is what the gastronomy capital is all about. We've got a huge, diverse range of delicious food. And so if you like dining experiences like I do, then you're gonna be at home here. Let's get a little bit closer. I'm gonna take you into the entrance to where these units are located, and we'll talk a little bit more about what this area has to offer. Let's go. Welcome to the Row on 18 West. This is one of several floor plans that they have offered at this townhouse community. This is a brand new development, and as you can tell, as we walk in, we've got a lot of different finishes that personally I'm very excited about because I appreciate more of a kind of industrial feel. And so you got the natural concrete floors. It looks like they have a seal on them, gives them just a little bit of a sheen. You've got these nice natural, I think this is like a pine, it looks like. Pine countertops or counters. Sorry, not counters or countertops, but actual cabinets. The countertops are this like gray, almost it's got to be some sort of a quartz material, but it does look a lot like some sort of concrete. And I think one of the things that I appreciate a lot about what they've built here is that they focused a lot on efficiency. These are not big units, 1,200 to 1,400 square feet. And this is one of 2 units, so make sure you stay tuned because we're also gonna tour that unit across the way. And we're also gonna share with you a little bit about this area and what makes this area so special. If you like vibrant, lively, food-focused areas, we have a lot to explore and discuss about this area. But as you notice, we came in through the front door, which technically would be the front door. You've got nice high ceilings in this. And yes, for those of you that have been watching me long enough, let's do the official test. Tip of my fingers is 8 feet, so we're right at 9 feet. So about 9-foot ceilings in these townhomes, which is ample, especially for even a tall guy like myself. I like that they've done the linear HVAC vents, just a little modern touch, a little bit more sleek. We've got these nice accented black lights in the ceiling here. It's kind of an interesting one there. They've done some really cool finishes in this place. You're definitely gonna have to let me know in the comments what you think. But this is a very economical kitchen, very open. It's got an integrated dining room, as you can see. You've got some, honestly, for about 1,300 square feet, you have a lot of storage, surprisingly large amount of storage. One thing that I wanted to note is that all of your doors and windows, I believe are aluminum. This looks like it's some sort of a vinyl, but I think it is. So some of the windows are vinyl, the doors are aluminum, which is cool. That's what I was noticing. So it wasn't until I knocked on it that I found out that this is aluminum here, which is kind of nice, honestly. At what these are priced at, right around $500,000, to see aluminum doors, dual pane windows. I thought those were aluminum as well. Turns out they're vinyl, but they match really well. I think it's kind of a high-end feature that you usually don't see in anything less than about $1 million. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty nice to be able to have some of those upgraded features. You got a Bosch appliance package here, which is relatively high-end, and seen those in quite a bit of upscale remodels and builds as well. The natural kind of finish of these cabinets just lends itself to a lot of the natural finishes that they've used throughout these units. But one thing that I want to talk about is just the functionality of these spaces. So both of the units that we're going to take a look at are 2-bedroom, 2 bathrooms. I've walked through both units already. They are pretty darn functional for how big they are. We're walking down through a hallway right now into what would be your living room space. You've got this nice kind of a private courtyard, or almost like an atrium, in between the kitchen, which you can see through that door, and then the living room that we're standing in. I've kept it consistent with these linear drains, which I really like, or linear drains. I gotta figure out my vocabulary today. Linear HVAC vents, but this is pretty good size. I mean, to be honest with you, we live in a 1,700 square foot house, and this does not feel much smaller than our living room at our house. So I think they did a really good job utilizing this space. And this is super cool too. You don't see this very often, but in an area like Armory Park downtown, having these little private patios to be able to enjoy, sit at in the morning for coffee. You're gonna hear some noise of the city, which is expected. If you're not expecting that and you're looking in Armory Park, then you should definitely grab my contact information, because I can show you some different options that will probably be a little bit more custom tailored to what you're looking for. But all jokes aside, people that are considering Armory Park have an idea of what they're getting into. They're after that downtown urban lifestyle, everything within walking distance, a high walkability score. So to be able to enjoy coffee out here in the morning, lunch, even on our 6 to 8 months a year when the weather is very temperate, we can keep these doors open. It have some indoor outdoor space, which is pretty awesome. One thing that I love about these townhouses that stood out to me right away is because they've done so much glass, it does bring in a lot of natural light. Makes the space feel a lot bigger than it actually is, which is a very positive thing. If I'm gonna be honest with you, one of my gripes about this floor plan is that they don't have a bathroom downstairs on the ground level. Now, if it were me, it wouldn't be that big of a deal because I don't mind going up and downstairs. But for some people, I know for some buyers, that could be something to consider. You've got your stackable washer dryer. You also have some additional storage down here on the first story. Ground level, right beside your HVAC components. They did use Carrier, which is awesome. One of the most reputable brands that you can get in the HVAC. Mechanical stuff, you've got on-demand water heater, which is nice. And then you've got some nice storage, mops, vacuum, whatever else you wanted to store in here. So 9-foot ceilings throughout. I like that they use little subtle details, but they use these little 3-inch cans, the LED can lights here, instead of the big like 5 or 6 inch. They just look a lot more sleek, and I personally like that a lot. So this would be kind of your back patio. I guess while we're out here, I might as well take you out here. Another little private patio. So again, morning coffee, glass of wine as the sun's going down. They've integrated this adobe block, which is a material that is got a long history here in Southern Arizona. And I love that they tied that in with these plaster walls, because this is kind of like this is very much a style that you're going to see a lot through the Southwest, the white plaster and the adobe. So I think they blended that really nicely. And we've got an upstairs where the bedrooms are. So we'll take a peek at that now. So you transition from these concrete floors here to this luxury vinyl plank that starts with the stairs. Let's take a peek upstairs. I think these units are really going to be appealing to people who are probably looking for a part-time home. We work with a lot of clients that are moving from all over the country. And whether you're empty nesters, you're looking for a place to retire, whether you have students going to the University of Arizona and you want a place to stay while you visit them, whether you visited Tucson in the past and you're aware of its vibrant history and cultural details and incredible food, we're going to cover all of that today in this video. But there's a lot of reasons why I think this location and these floor plans would really appeal to people in those categories. Here is a look at one of the bedrooms upstairs. So mind you, this is a 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Pretty good sized rooms. They've got these built-in armoire deals for your closet space. Very nice. I believe that is a queen size bed for reference. And one more time for the fans, we've got 9-foot ceilings upstairs as well. So you've got consistency downstairs and upstairs, 9-foot ceilings throughout. And here's a look at the ensuite bathroom. Again, I just think they did a really good job just keeping the tones and textures of this design really complementary. So they've got these ceramic or porcelain tiles that have this rustic kind of concrete feel to it. But because it's tile, because it has grout lines, it feels upscale. It feels very intentional. It feels very integrated in this whole design. Vanities to match the cabinets downstairs. Very simple tile and tub combo here. Got a little window for some natural light there. Overall, I mean, there's a lot that I personally like about this. Door hinges, hardware, all black. I appreciate that. I think that's a very timeless look. I wish they would have done the same thing with the with the fixtures there. Black fixtures, personally. I think that would have kind of tied it all together, but I get it. I get it. The chrome is sometimes what people want. They did do something interesting here. So as you come up off of the stairs, come upstairs, you do have this window, so you got some natural light. And you've got a little, I believe that's the front door down there. So, you know, I don't know. It's kind of interesting they designed it this way. Maybe more for airflow, or I don't really know. Maybe it's to drop water balloons on your significant other as they walk in the door. I don't know. They got a lot of options they've thought through here, so I'll leave that up to you. Walking into the next bathroom, or bedroom and bathroom. I would probably consider this more of the primary suite. Got a barn door. You've got these wall of armoire cabinets here. And this is a pretty good size of cabinets. That whole wall, probably a good 10 to 12 feet there. Might not be picking it up on camera, but that is definitely about 10 or 12 feet. So double stacked with room to hang. You do have your bathroom in here. I love that they did the tile floor to ceiling in this room. Little window there for some natural light. Floor to ceiling in this room. They tiled the whole room except for the ceiling. Big shower. Big shower, you know, they've got the wand, so you have the main shower head, you've got the wand, you've got your controls, nice glass separation there. And I like this tile a lot. I like it. It's got that kind of natural aggregate look to it. I'm a fan of those natural wood and stone tones. It's very peaceful. It puts me in the Zen state. For those of you that are my fellow Zenners, whatever that even means, to be honest with you. Got some cabinet space in here. They went a little bit smaller with the cabinets, not as deep as normal cabinets, just to utilize space more appropriately. So I appreciate that they really focused on efficiency of space in here, and I think they did a pretty good job incorporating some high-end finishes, vessel sink, cabinetry, plenty of storage, mirror. So yeah, there is a look at the two upstairs bedrooms, and again, right around between 12 and 1400 square feet, these units are going to be, there's going to have quite a bit of variance between the different units based on the townhouses themselves. They've got 16 units in total, and they're priced right around $489,000 to start. But let me know in the comments, before we jump into the next unit, what do you think about this floor plan? 1,200, 1,300 square feet, pretty functional, right? Let me know what you think about the finishes. I'm very curious to find out what your thoughts are. All right, so now that we finished up that tour, before we go into the next one directly in front of me, let me know in the comments what you think. I mean, from the styling to some of the location details that we discussed, to the way they designed that floor plan behind me, let me know. I'm very curious what your thoughts are. And also, if you want to see more cool stuff like this, I cover everything lifestyle, new builds, and real estate in Tucson. My perspective being a local Tucsonan my entire life, and bringing 15 plus years of real estate experience to work for you, whether it be buying, selling, doesn't matter. Shoot me a call, text, email, or even schedule a free Zoom consult directly with the link in the description. I'd love to meet you face to face and be a resource for you. Now, as I mentioned, these are still being built. We're in the final phases of this whole 16 units complex being completed. But I want to share a couple things because I've lived in Central Tucson for a very long time, and I'm always excited to help share why Central Tucson, downtown Tucson has such a special place to me. And for me, it's mainly about food and convenience. On the food aspect, 5 Points Market, which is one of the most historic diner, restaurants, breakfast spots that you can go to. 5 Points Market and Restaurant located right around the corner. Cafe Desta, that's only a couple steps away from here. Authentic Ethiopian food. If you haven't tried it, you've got to put it on the list. The Baffert at 5 Points is another great place. Urban, kind of a mixed use space, so it's really cool. Including Casa Madre, which is a Mexican dining restaurant, and Forbes Meat Co., which is kind of like an artisan butcher shop that supports local ranchers. Ugly But Honest Pizzeria and Beer Garden. So if you want a little beer garden action, you've got homemade pizzas and local craft beers. Barrio Bread, they've got award-winning bread, delicious bread if you haven't tried them. My wife is also a baker and bakes fresh sourdough weekly, so I'd be in trouble if I didn't say that her bread is better. But Barrio Bread is amazing. Check it out. Say's Kitchen is another one. The Mercado San Agustin, which has one of the greatest patios in Tucson. My wife and I love to go there and enjoy a Mexican pastry, a coffee, eat at Say's Kitchen. They have some amazing breakfast burritos. You got to check out the El Jefe. That's one of my all-time favorites. Now, again, don't mind the construction behind me. We are in downtown, and soon this place is going to be completed. And right out that gate is a sidewalk, and you are walking distance to so much. Downtown is only a short walk away. You've got the Tucson Convention Center, where we have minor league hockey. It's one of the biggest event centers in Tucson. So you've got lots of live performances, from monster trucks to different types of singers, songwriters, performers, you name it. Lots of theaters and museums close and walking distance as well as farmers markets. You do have streetcar access as well. So that connects you to the University of Arizona, gets you downtown really quick. 4th Avenue is one of the most kind of vibrant and eccentric places in the downtown area. Lots of little boutique shops and quaint little restaurants, including some live music areas, bars, places to grab a nice drink on a patio, very dog friendly as well. So really a lot of things to focus in on and explore if that's what you're into. Now that I brought you up to speed a little bit on what this area has to offer, let's go take a peek in one of the units that is ready to purchase. If you have any questions, any additional questions, put them in the comments. I'm going to be personally looking at all the comments and responding, so you've got a direct access to me. This is one of their smaller units. We're going to take a peek inside, so let's go. All right, so check it out, guys. I am standing in the private entry courtyard to the townhouse that is behind me. We're about to take a tour of. But if you're not familiar with Armory Park, if you're not familiar with downtown, it is the epicenter of Tucson culture. Lots and lots of great dining options and lots of places to walk to, places to explore, from museums to historical sites to bars, restaurants, nightlife. Man, downtown in the last 15 years has absolutely exploded on the scene in Tucson, and it really has become the heartbeat of the city. So if you haven't yet experienced downtown Tucson, if you like live music, if you like cool bars, if you like really delicious food, I'll remind you that Tucson is the gastronomy location of the US. It was the first to be voted the gastronomy capital of the US, which is essentially foodie heaven. If you enjoy food like myself and my wife, we love to go out to restaurants, check out new spots to eat, and give our 2 cents on how the whole experience, the dining experience was. So if that's you, downtown has a ton to explore. And with these townhouses being right in Armory Park, one of the most historic locations in all of Tucson, it really doesn't get much better than that. So we're gonna take a peek at this unit behind me. This is the private courtyard. It's actually pretty large because this unit is one of their smaller units, closer to 1,200 square feet. But this little entry courtyard is really cool. Like, if you're an architecture fan like myself, you got a couple angles out here. You got a couple different textures. I think it'd be really cool if you got some extra plants. You could really dress this up in here, but you do have some different textures on the wall with this burnt adobe brick up here. Very, very iconic type of texture here in the Southwest, along with the white plaster. So you're gonna see a lot of that as we continue to tour these two townhouses. Brand new built, never been lived in. One of 16 units in this complex. Let's take a peek at what this unit has to offer. Welcome to the living room. And for those of you that don't know, I have worked professionally in real estate for over 15 years as both a real estate appraiser and a realtor. And in that time, I've helped thousands of people, no joke, thousands of people buy or sell a home just like you. So if you're looking for some local guidance, some local expertise, my family has lived in Tucson for over 150 years, and I'd be happy to be a resource and share the local inside knowledge with you, not only from a local's perspective, somebody who's lived here and families who lived here for a very long time, but also 15 plus years of real estate experience dedicated right here in Tucson. So grab my contact information on screen here, grab it in the description below, and let's continue. So the living room in this unit, pretty big, pretty good size. I actually appreciate that it goes right to your private courtyard. Again, I see like a lot of greenery on that wall, maybe even doing a vine wall or just a lot of plants to class that up. But out that window with some natural light, lots of privacy, which is something that you don't get a lot of in downtown Tucson and Armory Park. I think that that's one of the unique factors that they really nailed here, is getting a lot of natural light coming through windows while still protecting the privacy of the people that live here. So we've got stairs headed up to the bedrooms, closet, I don't know, what, the reading nook? What do you think? You could read right here. My wife is a serious reader, and I don't know, I feel like this is like a spot for like a rainy day, when they see in like a sad scene in a movie where they're looking out the window and the rain's coming down. Now, this isn't a sad place, but this is a great window to lounge, check it out. You know what? I just realized this is a cat window. If you have cats, could be a dog window. Little dog bed there, cat bed, they get to watch, maybe there's some hummingbirds or that's probably what it was. There you go, your very own pet viewing window. See, they thought of everything here. Could be a reading nook, could be a pet nook, either or. You have to let me know in the comments which one you think is more likely. Is it a pet nook for you, or is it a reading nook? Here's a look at the kitchen. You're gonna hear me mention just some of the things that they've done in these units to capitalize on efficiency. I think they've really nailed it with these kitchen designs. They've gone deeper cabinets up top, which is not necessarily something that you see. These are lower cabinets usually that you see down below, but they've put them up top, I would imagine, just to give you some more space since you're a little bit more limited, and I think they did a great job. You've got Bosch appliances in the stove here. You do have a built-in hood, which is very nice. You can see it here. You have a little bit of storage up there, but that hood is taking up most of this cabinet. Pretty high-end feel to be able to have an integrated hood in a small little townhouse like this. You probably could fit a larger dining room table in here, and if you wanted to get a little bit more creative, you could potentially do some sort of a bench set up against that wall. Would probably have a little bit more dining space, a little bit more table space. But again, I think something to consider is for these units, based on where they're located and based on the finishes that they have, they're going to be very, since they're newly constructed, very low maintenance. So you're gonna have a lot of peace of mind knowing that everything's brand new and most things are gonna be covered under some sort of a builder warranty or manufacturer warranty. The other thing is, given the size of it, it's not gonna take a lot to take care of and maintain. So if you only plan on spending a couple months a year here, we've got so many reasons why people frequent Tucson for only 3 to 6 months a year. Gem show, cycling, could be just weather, you know, get a lot of people moving to Tucson part of the year just to enjoy our incredible weather that is just paradise, you know, clear blue skies, warm sun, cool air temperatures. And so if you fit one of those categories, these units really cater to that. They cater to someone who wants to take advantage of everything that Tucson has to offer, from its conveniences, its culture, its cuisine, its wildlife, and even its temperature, but giving you a space you can really enjoy, a really quality space. And also, when you're not here for that part of the year, you're not gonna have to worry about it too much because it's brand new and small. So let's head upstairs. So I believe I mentioned, so we got concrete floors downstairs, luxury vinyl plank here. Coming upstairs, and we do have our guest bathroom there. But this is a great example of what they've done to make this space efficient. This is a very narrow space, but honestly, it doesn't feel claustrophobic. You've got an integrated shower here with a window, floor drain, everything drains there. You've got your little wall-mounted sink, commode. You've got some cabinets there. I mean, honestly, for fitting what they have fit in this size and square footage is impressive. Very impressive. So we got a closet here. This is your laundry closet. Stackable washer dryer. So here would be one of your guest bedrooms. I actually believe this would be considered your owner's suite. Queen size bed, just to give you some reference of size. Probably 12 feet, 10 to 12 feet. Lots and lots of storage in here. This would serve as your closet. Upper and lower, that would be ample. I mean, depending on how much stuff you have, again, I think these are really suited for people that are part-time visitors in Tucson. If you are really downsizing and you want to spend more full-time in Tucson, I think that this would work. I really do. You know, it depends on how much space you're used to. We work with clients from all over the US and Canada, and oftentimes we have people moving and downsizing from houses that are 4,000 to 6,000 square feet. Those are pretty big homes. Tucson in general is not known for homes that large. Now, we have a luxury sector of our real estate market that caters to that. But in general, you know, if you compare it to a place like back east, you probably have an average square foot of homes in a specific area, probably somewhere around 3,000 square feet. In Tucson, our average square footage is about 1,800 square feet. So generally, homes are smaller here. That's not to say there aren't large homes here, because there are. But I just wanted to share that context. I know that has nothing to do with the 1,200 square foot townhouse that we're in right now. But again, I'm just sharing points and perspectives that I think clients that hire us find valuable as they get acclimated to Tucson. Here's a look at the bathroom. This is tile, not a plastic insert. And honestly, that tub is pretty big. That's not a standard size tub. Yeah, you know, I'm gonna have to do it. I know what you're thinking. I'm thinking the same thing. Let's see. Oh, so I'm 6'3". This tub is huge. This is a massive tub. It's deep too. So I'm 6'3". I could easily fit in here. I'm ready. I'm ready to throw the bubble bath in here and just lounge, you know? Light a candle, put some music on, you know, just hang out. Hang out and relax. Cool spot. I'm glad that they put these big tubs in here because it's kind of unassuming. You can get a good soak in there, nice relaxing bath. Is that what I look like? Did I look better than that? Maybe. We'll see. This guy's pretty cute. So, very functional space. You even have an office that they built in here. I'll show you that real quick. Maybe not an office, but a place for a desk. And what else? Let's take a gander this way. Next guest bedroom. Queen size bed once again. The built-in closets. We've integrated some windows in here. It's got this little square window in there, which is pretty cool. So man, next up, we're gonna tour the neighborhood a little bit, talk a little bit more about this build, this townhouse build, and just kind of share some more of the exciting stuff that there is in this area. My wife and I have lived in Central Tucson. I've lived in Central Tucson most of my life, and I love it. It's very, very convenient. I get a lot of people asking me about safety. The best advice that I can give is look at specific crime maps if that's what you are concerned about. I've lived in Central Tucson my whole life, so I can speak from my perspective. And I think that that's what most clients appreciate. I feel safe with my two girls, my wife, living in Central Tucson. We enjoy the conveniences. We enjoy the vibrant, nature of the neighborhoods, people running, jogging, biking. You will get some foot traffic, as you will in most downtown areas and central areas. You're going to get some homelessness occasionally. You're gonna get a lot of foot traffic. You're gonna hear noise. You're gonna hear sirens occasionally. There's several hospitals around here, so you may hear maybe helicopters. Is it gunshots and bombs? Like, absolutely not. And so that has not been even close to my experience living in Central Tucson for most of my life. So if you have questions and you really want a local insider's perspective on Central Tucson, Armory Park, here's what I would say. It is a very segmented market. There are specific areas in Central Tucson and downtown where personally I would choose to not live. But that's not necessarily to say that that's just my own personal opinion, because I've lived all over Tucson. And if you're looking for a local's perspective on how to navigate Tucson and understand, based on what you're looking for and what is most important to you, which parts of Tucson I would highlight for you so you can kind of explore that, grab my contact information. You can grab it out of the description below. I'd love to share my perspective of being a Tucson native my entire life. Well, that's a wrap, guys. Thank you so much for touring this brand new townhouse complex that's about to be completed. If you have any questions, you know how to get a hold of me with all my contact information below. If you like this video, hit that thumbs up button. It lets us know that we're doing something valuable that you appreciate. We'll continue to make more content like it. Until next time, we hope to see you around the neighborhood.